The insurer of this stolen Jaguar will be paying out for the innocent vehicles damaged by the stolen vehicle being driven by a thief. Now, before you jump down my throat in the comments, answer me one question before we get into the detail of how these claims work and how they're settled. If your vehicle was hit by a thief driving a stolen vehicle, would you prefer to be able to claim from the stolen car's insurance company, or would you rather that the claim was made against your own comprehensive insurance as a non-recoverable claim that affects your no claims discount because this chap is not going to have the funds to be able to reimburse the losses that you sustained? So in this incident, which occurred in Liverpool, the responsible parties forced entry to a pensioner's home by smashing a window. They threatened the classic car collector with a hammer before making off with cash that he had on his person and leaving the scene in his vintage Jaguar. Shortly after, the Jaguar was being pursued by the police when it went onto the opposite side of the road, colliding head-on with an unmarked police car that was not related to the pursuit, with debris impacting other parked vehicles at the scene. Legally in the UK, under the Road Traffic Act, insurance companies must settle the claims of innocent third parties when a vehicle is responsible for damage caused and that driver is identified, regardless of whether that driver was the person named on the policy or not. The reason for this is so that innocent third parties have an avenue to make a claim in the event that they suffer losses as a consequences of the actions of the driver of a vehicle. So in this instance, the insurance company that deals with Liverpool Police's insurance, whether that be self-insured directly or outsourced to a claims management company, will pursue the costs of the damage to the unmarked police car from the insurer of the stolen car. That will also apply to the parked vehicles if they sustained any damage from the debris and the door being opened into the side of that parked car. Now, you might think it's insane that the stolen car's insurance company would be paying out because you'd think the owner of the car is being penalised. But remember, they're also going to be making a claim under that same policy and that same claim for their car which has been stolen and damaged. They have an unrecoverable claim on their policy already for the theft of the vehicle and that damage. It's just that a lot more will be paid out than just their own vehicle, as innocent third parties will be paid out also. Now, what about if the driver was not identified? In the case where a driver is not identified, any losses that were insured comprehensively would need to be made against that comprehensive insurance policy as an unrecoverable claim. Any uninsured losses would need to be made against the Untraced Drivers Fund, which is managed by the Motor Insurers Bureau. That would also apply if the vehicle being driven was uninsured at the time of the collision. Now, obviously, you could argue that it's not fair that an innocent party's insurance company would have to pay out, but that money has to come from somewhere. And to say otherwise would be an argument for a socialist way of life, and that's a whole other kettle of fish that doesn't quite fit my niche. To round this one off, if you've made comments about insurance being a scam, you probably just don't understand insurance or basic business principles, and you should learn what insurance is and what its principles are before you spout off in the comments. Comments about claims and premiums make money for insurance companies when actually very little of the profit is made by the premiums itself, but rather what insurers do with the premiums that are held in reserve. Is insurance perfect? Absolutely not. But if the worst happens, and I mean the worst, not a bump in a supermarket car park, you'll be mighty glad that you have it and mighty glad that you paid whatever you paid for it. Lovely jubbly, sound as a pound.